Hi, creative friends. This is Soraya, and thank you so much for being here. So I'm gonna dive right into this background, and I made a series where I think I had 3 parts to it, and that was like a few days ago. And generally, when I do these backgrounds, I'm doing them either to learn or for therapy, or it just feels good actually. But now what I did, and I mentioned this in my last video for the series, I saw a figure here, and I really am drawn to explore the figure kind of emerging, because I see a head over here, a kind of an abstracted body, and then what might turn out to be a sun or maybe even another figure. Actually, you know what, you guys? I'm kind of, you know what? I actually am seeing like a face here, another face here, and maybe like this part could be an abstracted body of this figure. So isn't that interesting? Wow, I did not see that before. I thought this was going to be one figure and this was going to be a sun, but I'm really liking this configuration more. Or even to have this figure over here and then make this into a sun. Anyways, you guys, let me just dive right in. So even though I don't have my blue Stabilos, I put an order in for Dick Blake, but it's on back order, so hopefully it'll come in the next couple of weeks. I do have this beautiful box of Stabilo pencils in different colors. Like, look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? And I picked this up actually when we lived in Europe. So what I'm going to do is I've been using the orange one, but there's also a few blue ones. So I'm going to use this blue one here and just put that away. And I'm just going to try to figure out like what exactly do I want to do. And I think I'm going to go with this over here as a face. And this this is going to be very abstracted because I'm trying to like retain parts of the background that I'm really drawn to. Oh, before I cover it up and everything and go on any further, let me just bring this up close here. The lighting is really good today. It's a bright day outside. So I just want to bring it up closer so you can kind of see like all the juicy yumminess. Like, oh, look at that, you guys. Oh my god, I am so loving it. Like, look at that. Just, oh, just beautiful. And so I want to retain a lot of the yummy, juicy quality. I don't want to cover it up, and I do tend to have a very heavy hand and cover things up, and then later on I go, oh my god, I shouldn't have covered up, but I did. So I'm really trying to not do that, and just become more conscious of keeping things rather than covering it up and then trying to sometimes I can bring it back if I realize it soon enough, and then I can scrape it out, or take a wet paper towel and like scrub it out. But once it dries, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. So anyways, let me just see here. So this is going to be abstract, and I'm just really kind of like that's going to be the face, but then like this part here, I want it to kind of be the body. So it's going to be like a weird kind of maybe a cloaked figure even, but that's okay. This is like totally fantasy, and it kind of actually reminds me of Connie's book Painting the Feminine, where there's just like anything goes, and I'm kind of visualizing that kind of feeling, I guess. And like I want to just keep so much of it. So do you see, can you see how like, because I want to keep, and actually I want to keep even more of it. I want to keep this part over here. So what I'm going to do, and this is a good opportunity for me to show you, like, when you use your Stabilo, you guys, you can like, see, I just wet my paper towel with water, and you can just like erase it. So let me try this again. So I think I'm happy with the face, but like I want to keep this whole thing here. Like I'm loving this whole shape. So this is gonna be like an abstracted kind of a situation, I guess. And let's see here. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of make the figure, like the face, kind of, it's hard for me to explain, you guys. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is I am going to make the face not looking head on towards me, but more like sideways. I'm just kind of feeling like that would go a little bit better with the way the body is gonna be. And this is gonna be like very abstracted. So that's kind of interesting to me. I'm getting more and more into abstracts, you guys. I'm just loving the deliciousness of abstracts and how it can be so emotive and expressive. I'm loving that. So that's gonna be like, so do you see how the face is not like looking at me straight on? It's kind of like a little bit turned here. I think that goes more with the body. Ooh, I kind of like that actually. Now, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know if I should make it into another figure behind this figure, if I should turn it into a sun. And when I don't know, you guys, I just kind of leave it alone. But I am really loving all of this, you guys. Ooh, I'm loving it. Okay. And now I'm gonna try to figure out what I want to do with the face. And I think I am gonna use my Liquitex. Just on some parts of the face here. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with the background. So you guys, obviously, like normally when I'm working, I'm not going to be talking out loud. Well, sometimes I do, but for the most part, I don't. I'm not talking out loud, but obviously I'm just doing this because I'm recording. And so hopefully it will be, you know, it'll just kind of like, maybe illustrate a little bit about my thought process. Because this is kind of how I work. Like this is kind of my thought process. I know it's a little it's a little kind of convoluted and messy, and that's just the way the creative process is for me. And so I am, but do you see the figure that's kind of emerging? And I'm really loving it, you guys. Oh my goodness. Even this little bit of flower here, I'm so appreciating it. And now let me see here. I think I'm gonna just go like all the way over here because I do want to keep as much of this as possible because I just am really loving it. So, you know, her body is just gonna be like so. And the thing is, you guys, like if I change my mind later and I want to like, you know, move that line over here, that's not a big deal. But if I cover it up, I can't get it back. So it's just better for me to kind of err on the side of caution and leave more. And then later on, I can do what I want to do with it. Okay. So now I think, now I'm so just even loving, like there's flowers there, there's that little blue part there, and I'm just really appreciating it. So I'm wondering if I am going to like give her some hair, maybe. I can just like use that as part of her hair. Like so. I'm wondering if I should put black in the background. I'm kind of feeling it actually, but I'm gonna leave this side alone because I don't know, do I want to put a face here? Do I want to put a sun? Well, it would be a moon, I guess, maybe, if it's going to be black. Or maybe even, you know what, you guys, maybe not black. Maybe Prussian blue, actually. I think I'm feeling the Prussian blue. Okay, we're going to go with Prussian blue. And I'm just going to, like, do a little bit up over here to the side because not only am I testing out the Prussian blue, but I don't know what I want to do with this whole situation, so I'm just going to kind of leave it alone. But, oh, yeah, okay, that is, yeah, okay. I'm loving that blue. Ooh, look at that. Now, I'm probably going to have to do a couple of coats of this, but, yeah, I'm really thinking this was a good choice here. Okay. And I don't want to cover up these flowers, you guys, but sometimes we just got to kind of cover up stuff we don't want to. And I've mentioned this a lot in some of my other videos, but this really helped me like visualize it. Like when everything is a star, then nothing is a star, because, you know, like there's so much stuff going on here, and sometimes like parts of the painting have to be supporting characters so that we can allow other parts of the painting to shine. But if everything is all like the star, if everything's really, you know, busy and this and that, then nothing really stands out because there's too much going on. But the supporting parts are just as important, maybe if, you know, if not more important than the star, because the supporting parts are what allows the other stuff to shine, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense here. So I'm just gonna kind of go like so, and I'm really loving this choice of the Prussian blue. Okay, you guys, I am going to leave this and let it dry. And more importantly, I'm going to try to figure out what do I want to do with this part over here. And just like, you know, when I last did these backgrounds, I thought that this was going to be the figure and I was going to turn this into the sun. And then I left it for a few days and I come back and I'm like, oh, but I see the figure over here. So I am going to just kind of let it sit for a minute. I'm going to do some journaling in my studio log and just see like, hey, what wants to come out. Right now, I'm thinking maybe it needs to be a sun or a moon actually, but you know, who knows? So I'm going to leave it open and try to figure out what I want to do with that. I'm going to just let this dry. And if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.